Yeah, hello. My name is Ebrachan. I got introduced to Scrum in the year 2005. Ever since 2005, I've been associating myself with Scrum teams, transitioning teams from the traditional waterfall style to agile using Scrum. Something I like about Scrum is its simplicity. There is nothing much in Scrum. All you have is a product backlog, which is a wish list of features that may or may not get into the product. That means the product owner keeps on creating this product backlog items, all one-liners. So these are the wish list of features that may or may not get into the product. Then we have the Scrum Master who ensures that the project is happening as per Scrum. And then we have the team comprising of the required technical people who can convert these product backlog entries into an executable or demonstrable product increment. It is as simple as that. So everything starts with the product owner and the product backlog. Then we get into a sprint planning meeting. So a sprint is a maximum 30-day cycle during which the entire team works together to convert the sprint backlog, which is a subset of the product backlog, into an increment of the product. So at the beginning of the sprint, the product owner, the Scrum Master, and the development team, they get into a sprint planning meeting, which is approximately 7 hours duration, where the Scrum Master, where the product owner explains the details to be developed during the sprint and clarifies all the questions by everybody in the room about the functionality. And after having sufficient clarity, they estimate the work need to be done. A lot of discussions happens, and then they converge on a set of features, practical features that can be converted into an increment of the product during the sprint. So it's a time box meeting of 7 to 8 hours. So after the sprint planning meeting, we have absolute clarity on what need to be developed during the sprint. Then the next day onwards, the team starts sprinting. That means the features to be developed is available, the activities are available, the efforts estimates are available. Then the team members volunteers and move it from to be done to being done to done statuses. And every day we have a daily stand-up meeting of the team where three things are discussed. Each team member will update the rest of the team these three things, like what did I do yesterday, what am I doing today, and what are the challenges I'm facing. So each team member gets around 1.5 minutes to explain these three things to the rest of the team. It is very simple. What did I do yesterday? What am I doing today? And what are the challenges I'm facing? So every day the team has a 15 minutes daily stand-up meeting where these things are discussed, which brings in absolute clarity into where we stand as a team to the entire team. Then at the end of the sprint, maybe if it's a 30-day sprint, on the 30th day we have the sprint review meeting where the increment of the product developed by the team is demonstrated to the stakeholders, which includes the product owner, the Scrum Master, and maybe the business owners. So all the stakeholders can come in, and to them the product increment, which was done during the sprint, is demonstrated against predefined acceptance criteria, and we decide whether the sprint was success or failure. And after that, we get into a sprint review sprint retrospective, where we discuss about what all things we did right and what all things we did wrong, or rather what can be improved further, and those corrective actions gets implemented into the future sprints. So it is very simple. Okay, we have three roles: product owner, scrum master, and the development team. And we have the requirements in the form of product backlog, and the prioritized requirements for the sprint, we call it as the sprint backlog. And the sprint backlog gets estimated and refined in the sprint planning meeting. And after that, the team gets into sprinting. And every day there is a daily scrum, which is nothing but a daily stand-up meeting where people share their current status of the work and the challenges they face so that others can help them out. And at the end of the sprint, a product increment review happens, and which is followed by a sprint retrospective where the team retrospects on what all things we did right and what all things can be improved in the subsequent sprints. Scrum Framework is as simple as that. The main challenge is in not complicating it further. So we need clear requirements. We need a motivated and capable team to convert these requirements into the product increment. So at the end of, and when the team is working on it, nobody should disturb them. And at the end of the sprint, the product is reviewed or demonstrated, and then we get into the retrospective mode to identify the lessons learned so that we can improve in the subsequent sprints. And this cycle keeps on happening until the product backlog gets exhausted. So this is Scrum in just 7 minutes time. Thank you.